And hello, Gianni and Jay Mataji.
Yoshimadaji, Daniel.
And hello, everybody, and Jay Mataji to few people who are watching us, and thank you for that. We are Daniel Boston and Gianni Rossi here. We are in March 2026. And the reason we have this chat is the fact that I was very impressed about Gianni's music. On top of that, we meet in two consecutive tour in a span of probably just a few months, 4 months or so. We meet in Tanzania, and as it's happened, I've been to the program where Gianni's also sing. Because we have few others program, we were split in small groups, and I have that occasion. But also, to my surprise, I meet Gianni and few other people who've been to Tanzania in Brazil. And there, I discover a new Gianni, musically speaking, and that I told him that not shocked me, but was a very good surprise, a very pleasant surprise. His music. You have to be very careful, very attentive when you listen, because the fusion in that music was the one who impressed me, conquered me. So we will talk about that. But before that, I have to tell you a few things about. He will tell us a few things about Rossi, but about him. But I have to tell you that he's a Sahaja Yogi from Italy. Now he lives in UK. He's married. He get a realization more than 25 or something or so ago. Um, so that's Gianni. So like I ask everybody, dear Gianni, I will ask you what was the main attraction for you when it's coming to spirituality, not to Sahaja Yoga, because by that time, before Sahaja Yoga, we don't know about Sahaja Yoga, obviously. Was something who attract you to this area of spirituality?
Um, I say that I always thought that there was something above us. I always had like a conversation with the higher entity. I didn't know what it was. I mean, I was born Catholic, but I didn't really follow going to church or mass, etc. So I have that background that was built in me. My approach with spirituality started to have a form after Sahaja Yoga. Actually, it was the awakening in me. It was actually Sahaja Yoga on spirituality, but also it took a while, also in Sahaja Yoga, to fully recognize Mother and have the more deeper approach, I mean, or deeper connection. And so my approach to Sahaja Yoga was very, very casual, to be honest. I just walked through. I was to go home. I had to pass through the university, and they have all the advertising, and there was advertising of about Sahaja Yoga, and I just went just for curiosity. I just was attracted by Shimadaji's face. Was the first thing that attracted me, and then of course free meditation. That's the second thing. They actually, and so I went, and I never missed a class. I don't know. And at the beginning, I wasn't really understanding what was happening, but I kept going, kept going. I think that Shimadaji actually calls us one by one, and we all have different experiences or path. But in a way, so I don't know if it's a previous life or we were going through other previous life. Yeah, it's like a journey that we ended up in this in one life and get the realization. So yeah, and so yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, Daniel, but more or less, yeah.
Where you get the realization? In a public program?
Yeah, basically it was a meeting, a weekly meeting in my hometown, and they start the meeting. We had quite a lot of advertising. There was quite a few people at the beginning. Then slowly, only few left. Was one of was the only one that remained basically in that bunch of people that started this like maybe 10 weeks less course, something like that. So and then slowly, to be honest, I also started Sahaja Yoga quite late. I was already almost in my 40s, and I have to say that when I started to meet the other Sahaja Yogis, I was going to meet people. At a certain point, you just leave your old friendship, and because you don't see it's not right anymore. There's something that's not flowing anymore. You enter to another level of awareness, and basically you going towards your evolution, and the other ones, your friends are stuck in the Kali Yuga in a way. So I had to go do miles to go and find people, yogis. I was going to Milano, to Genova. I live in between Milano and Genova. But then there was like a camera with the yogis. I think definitely it was the best time of my life. It was when I was in my 40s, just because I had Sahaja Yoga. It was a great new adventure. It was really feeling the connection with people, like a true connection with people, and with the Sahaja Yogi. Yeah.
So your age is very uh, tricky to get. So you give me a piece of information which shocked me a little bit. So you said when you get your realization, you are nearly 40s. So you said that now you are about 60?
I'm 61.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yes, shouldn't disclose it.
Anything I will said can be interpreted, so I will said anything. I won't say anything. So yeah. Okay. Um, you you said you live between Milano and Genoa. Uh, Obviously, Cabela is in the same area. So you practice Sahaja Yoga in that time before you obviously moved to UK. How was Sahaja Yoga in Italy by that time? Because the dynamic of Sahaja Yoga is different during the years. First of all, it's different with Shimataji, and after that, it's a bit different without Shimataji, and also by decade. It's happened to me to live uh, in different countries and obviously in different decades, and I can set the difference in the dynamic of Sahaja Yoga. I don't know the reason, we can speculate, but I want to know, excuse me, about the dynamic of Sahaja Yoga. By that time, I wasn't in Europe. I already moved to New Zealand. So I'm quite curious about your approach. How was Sahaja Yoga in 2002 and until you leave to UK?
I mean, that time it was the golden era. I mean, I think of Sahaja Yoga was still uh, it was the apotheosis of Srimatiji's work, and just to have a glimpse of Srimati. At that time, she wasn't reachable anymore. She was already not like in the early days when the Sahaja Yogi were actually they couldn't be in the same room, the small room with her. She was completely the puja were super. So many people in the pujas, and but there was this magic of waiting for her to arrive or for the puja, or was very magical, my magical time, and we were because we were basically the collective that were looking after the castle. So we were preparing the castle in springtime for Shrimatiji's arrival from India, when she was coming from India to Europe. So there was all the preparation and then going to the airport to welcome her, and was an incredible magical. I mean, magical time. Not that now. I mean, there's so many Sahaja Yogi that started Sahaja Yoga after Shrimati just left her body, and the depth. It's not related, so it doesn't matter in a way. I mean, you can feel the depth. It doesn't have to be with the human form. So, but at that time, the Shimadji herself was really incredible, powerful presence. Yeah.
So when you left to UK,
Well, after 2 years, so basically, I was quite an old chap. So my desire was to have a family. Actually, that's the reason why I. So I got married quite early after 2 years, and then I moved to London after 2 years, and so I left Italy in Sahaja Yoga terms after 2 years, although I was coming back quite often.
okay, so basically your all Sahaja yoga life live in UK more than in Italy.
Yeah,
But like we know, people from Europe and especially from Western Europe are quite often coming to Kabela. So probably the most pujas, like nearly everybody else from Europe, spend it to Kabela. And for the first 10 years in Sahaja Yoga or 9 years in Sahaja Yoga, you have the chance to meet Shimataji, obviously. Have you ever happened to be close to Shimataji?
but during the marriages, all the grooms have to basically walk next to Shimadaji. And when that happened, when it was my turn, we just were walking alongside her. And when it was my turn, I felt really the full attention on me, and I felt all my chakras, all my body moving, although like I said, was being basically cleared in the spot, just to prepare myself for for that experience that I was going through at the moment.
I was ask you about your passion for the music, but I don't have the chance to ask you about your your job. Obviously, you work to support yourself. What's your trade, Gianni? Please.
So I work in the music business, but in the accountancy side. I'm a royalty manager in a accountancy firm specialized in music. The clients are musicians, so I'm responsible for the third party calculations to pay third parties, could be manager, producers, or could be small record labels or publishers to prepare royalty statements, basically. Specializing in royalties, basically, the
Okay.
calculation of royalties.
Yes, I understand. Uh, Take us to your passion for the music. You told me before that you sing from your early age. So was just a passion? You are talented, or how this come?
Well, I don't know if I'm talented. The things I think I am maybe now is the rhythm. I have rhythm in my hands, in my body, and so I started playing music. Just my brothers just gave me the chords for the guitar, and I was a student, so I had a lot of time to spend, and I was just messing around with the chords and trying to put melodies on the chords. So I started doing always like original music or something that that was coming directly from me. And then with let's say when I started Sahaja Yoga, I discovered all these incredible, beautiful music, these melodies and the bhajans and these incredible scales with semitones, a quarter of a tone, and it was completely blow my mind basically. And so I learned, of course, because I'm playing this instrument, which is quite unusual. Actually, nobody has in Sahaja Yoga. It's a mix between a guitar and a mandolin, and I had the chance to play in any puja because there are maybe a lot of harmonium players, a lot of guitarist player, but there was only one mandolin player, at least in the West. So Austin Cabela, all the international puja, kind of managed to get it because I really want to play. I will want to jam. I want to play music. I love playing music. So I was always able to be maybe to sneak in and play during the puja, and that gave me so much experience. After 20 years, I think this experience improved, and there are a lot of situation. The singers change, and the key of the bhajans is different. So adapting and on the spot, and yeah. So, but what I really love to me is improvise. Have improvisation. Playing a song for the first time and try to arrange the song for me is incredible emotion. It's beautiful. If I rehearse too much, I lose completely the passion of it. It's just over rehearsing for me is the deadly force, and that's maybe because I'm not really. I could have been much better because you also need the dedication to practice. I don't have that. I can stay the months without playing the mandolin, and but then when I pick up the mandolin, I want so much play date, and something beautiful comes out. But you need also dedication. I admire Igor, for example, because he practices all the time and he's improving. I don't have that. I don't. It's too much. If for practice every day for 2-3 hours is a killer for me.
You said this instrument, it's a mixture between a guitar and a mandolin. That's what was the name of the instrument?
So the name is brach, and it's a traditional Balkan area. It could be Serbia, Montenegro.
Uh-huh.
and is the name of the family of this instrument is called tamburizza.
Yep.
But my one the is called brach.
Okay.
And so yeah, I just found it by chance, just going on holiday in that area, and yes, I met this band were playing on the streets of Dubrovnik. One of them was playing this instrument. We became friends, and then he advised to buy this. I was looking for to buy an instrument. He said, "Buy this one because it's very versatile. You can play any kind of music." And it's true. You can play any kind of music, from Irish music to bhajas to rock, anything. You can play anything.
Um, you touch a very interesting subject for me, the one about improvisation in music, opposing to the um, practicing and singing in the same manner all the time. Um, Obviously, because I already tell you and others that I was impressed about music, I'm with you on that approach of being spontaneous and improvising all the time. Saying that doesn't mean we completely disavoid or ignore or put it down the way of singing, trying to sing perfectly, rehearsing for hours, trying to be perfect. So, in my view, those are two sides of a coin. Obviously, you cannot improvise if you are not a good musician. To manage to improvise, it's um, a sign of a good musician who knows his music perfectly. So it's like in a paintings, for example, everybody laugh about the modern painting and about Picasso, but they forget that he was a fantastic painters. He draw his drawings are are perfect. He do this kind of modern stuff by choice, trying to find a new expression. That's exactly in the music. So we have to explain that. Probably we talk a little bit a bit more about that for the people who uh, don't know exactly what we so uh, saying that means you also love jazz, and obviously uh, I don't see you not liking Bob Dylan. So,
Yeah, I follow any kind of music. I didn't go stuck in one genre of music all my life. I kind of follow all the waves of music that were coming during my life. That includes also punk music or rock or indie garage, jazz or the classic blues, rock and roll. I listen to. I listen to everything, even some classical music, because my father was very passionate of classical music. So I grew up also with classical music in the background, Western classical music. And then now, the probably the music that was missing was actually Indian classical music, or yeah, there was a little bit of Ravi Shankar in with Woodstock. I remember in the so, yeah, but not that deeply. I didn't know the Indian classical music or bhajans, especially bhajans or kavalis. Kavalis is incredible music that I didn't know. I didn't have a chance. I like very much any kind of traditional music now more. I like very much world music, which is kind of a um, let's say a fusion of genres, because that's what I like to play now. Uh, but after Brazil, I like Brazilian music now. I'm listening to Brazilian music.
Cavalli probably is again one of the very good example of using the improvisation. They have a structure, but after that they go everywhere. So that's the beauty of Cavalli. Speaking about Indian music, another reason for I I like your music very much. When I say I like your music, it's also the fact that you sing in a group, especially in Brazil, you have a group. So in that performance, which I have it recorded, not very good sound, unfortunately. The image is better than the sound, which is unfortunate for the music perspective. Um, when I listen to that, was very clear the influence of you and Chico and Maka, uh, Mike, Mike, um, the bass guitar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's his name? Serge. Serge.
Ah, Serge, not yeah, yes.
Serge.
So you sing there some, let's call it classical music, classical Indian, or yeah, more or less is established composition with some vocals. For the people who are watching us, you have to wait a little bit when I will put it. Maybe today I will put a little bit of a few minutes, if you want. Um, so, but after that you have a original composition. So there, um, for me, was the top of the show, because there you and the other people who are singing show exactly the meaning of fusion. So again, we cannot go only on one direction, singing or praising only the classical music, no matter. When I said classical, means not only Indian, but every sort of classical music, or going only on the fusion. But we have to be aware about what's happened around us. And for me, I really prize it. So, yeah, to illustrate that, probably will be good to have some illustration, if I may.
The sound has to be can hear it. On this side, Daniel.
Sorry?
The sound wasn't really coming through. It's difficult.
Anyway, just a glimpse. So if you take out the imperfections from the sound and from playing, because I know you repeat, I have a clip of your rehearsal just 1 or 2 days before. You don't have too much time to do a very polished performance. But if you take out all this stuff from the equation, you will find, at least for me, a very interesting music, and I will buy that CD anytime. So I want to ask you something, Gianni, which probably I know the answer, but just for the sake of the conversation and for raising the issue with some other people, how you think about um, this playing Indian music versus non-Indian music in this kind of events? Or put it differently, what's the spiritual value of the non-Indian classic? When I said classic music, Indian means everything from Qawwali to puja to bhajans and anything, old and new. Uh, so, can you develop a little bit on that direction?
I'm not sure what, but I can tell that during the programs with Shimadaji, we were playing any kind of music. Actually, Shimadaji wanted to show us with inviting the famous Indian classical musicians to let us know, to let us understand what Indian classical music is. So, but at that time there was any kind of music, any kind of performance. It looked like almost like a family program, very sweet. Where most of the talent there was more heart than talent.
Exactly.
But and then there was the beauty. There was the beauty of also the program. They just you feel it is very sweet and loving. I mean I let's say I love playing. My idea is to mix music together and try to do something original and trying to do something. I do at the end what I'm able to do. So my limits also define also my music, my originality, because I know I can't play Indian classical music, and the compromise I found it becomes something that maybe it's original itself, so it distinguishes me from other musicians. But it's just my limits, basically.
You are forced by to 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 go on that direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, you can put also in that way, and but in that way, it creates music that is not standard. It's not the same standard, or it's not following a precise road. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
genre.
That's why I ask you about Bob Dylan because it's not one of my favorite. It's my favorite, or above everybody else. He never sing the same song, the same. You said something about the feeling. So it's more important the feeling than anything else.
I think the feeling when if you have the feeling when you play, you give vibrations. You create vibrations.
Yes.
And I always try to find that feeling, which is not always easy. But if you have the feeling, it's contagious. It goes out. It reaches people.
Um, Listen to you and the feeling in the music. I was thinking about Shimataji crying when she listened to some, as it's happened, Italian singing. I watched Shimataji's video from the beginning, and my plan is to finish in my lifetime to watch everything. So she cried 3 times. Once I've been there in Bulgaria, 1990, when we meet Shimataji to the airport. But twice in Italy, one to a public program when the people come to Shimataji, non-Sahaja Yoga, the people who just get the realization, and was the love in the air. You can feel it as a force. And the third time was in a uh, domestic environment in a house, not very big, in a lounge, and someone house probably we can find where. And the Italians sing everything from funicula to everything to volare. So yes, and Shimataji was crying. Yeah, a uh, joyful crying. So was fantastic. That's another example of, yeah, of putting the heart there and singing with the heart and improvising, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally. I agree. I agree. It's when you sing with the heart, when you play with the heart, it's just it creates vibrations. It creates really incredible magical music. Yeah.
um, Obviously we cannot replace the bhajans and the devotional music, which are basically prayers, if I sing it properly. I'm talking about the Indian one. We cannot replace in a puja with uh, new music or with European or Western music. But I will raise another subject. The um, um, how should I put it to be right? The too much interference of the music in the puja, which wasn't the case in Brazil, and um I told them because was so well balanced, especially by Eduardo and Pujari, but Eduardo was the one who who know how to balance that. Uh, how you feel about that? Because uh, sometimes some pujas, and in my experience in, yeah, in some countries, the puja it's um, overtaken by the musicians, so everything is around music. How you feel about that, like a musician? So that my feeling like a non-musician, but the musician is have to be very very wise and objective to see that one. You see it.
I think kind of lucky because usually I don't make a decision when we do a puja. I when we are in a puja, usually are the singers and the harmonium player, probably the singers making all the calls and calling the rhythm of the puja or the intensity or the number of the songs. What I do usually, I sit there and try to meditate and stay in meditation because otherwise the music doesn't flow. I have to really be thoughtless, and so I'm lucky I'm not part of the discussion when they're talking about which songs we in there. I just sit there and wait, and when the starts, I find my key. Where the key, I put my capo, and I just play. And for me, that is the puja. And then when I am meditation, that is flowing is one of the most beautiful experiences. Is incredible. When the music is not flowing, when there are problems, could be the worst puja for me. So for me, the puja is really relates on and sometimes there's the situation where there is no improvisation, there is no communication between the musicians. And then is the time that I suffer the most. Because if we are playing on stage, we kind of listening to each other, give each other space and communicate, then you create the magic of music. And sometimes it's just full on mental, like where I don't know what it is. And I am the first that will be. I'm enjoying what's happening around me. So I'm kind of situation could be incredible, beautiful, or completely ruin my puja. Say why I'm playing? Why am I playing? Could I just meditate and don't bother by going through this? But sometimes it's an incredible experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much in depth of that conversation with music, and music is a support of the puja in my view, not taking over the puja. That's my view, and sometimes is not. Sometimes take over. I'm not talking about the lack of communication between the musician, is the lack of communication between the musicians and the pujari, which sometimes it's happened to be the musicians. So building the puja around the music and only around the music, it's not the best way of doing a puja in my view. And that's tendency, it's quite big lately, or was always, I have no idea. Anyway, so we can come back a little bit in time, Gianni. I don't
Let's
want.
reschedule another set. Let's
Yes,
reschedule another session.
yes, okay. Oh, we can schedule another session because I want your impression about Tanzania and about Brazil generally. What? Okay, not a problem. Because it's better to be fresh.
Yeah. It's,
Uh, Yeah, for the moment, I thank you very much for that, for sharing all this thought with us. Thank you for your music, and we will see each other next time. We will plan for a next meeting.
Thank you for having me, Daniel, and it's been a pleasure. And yeah, look forward to the next one.
Okay, and thank you for the few people who are watching us, and if you want to leave us some comments or you have some question, you are more than welcome. So again, thank you very much. Jai Shri Mataji, everybody. See you next time.
Jai Shri Mataji.